What are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Ogre Boy, and I'm going to be doing my review for the new movie, Ghostbusters Afterlife. Since this movie just came out today, I'm going to keep it spoiler free, and everything, but, I'm going to go ahead and get into it. In this movie, a single mom, Kaylee, and her kids, Trevor and Phoebe, move to an old farmhouse that her late father left her, and they discover links to the past and find out that this relative was a famous Ghostbuster, and they start finding the equipment and start to realize that a lot of the stuff that was present in the first Ghostbusters movie is in this small town and could bring about the end of the world. And that's all I'm going to say about the plot. I don't want to ruin it for anybody who hasn't seen it. But if you've seen the trailers, you pretty much know how this movie's going to go, and it really is paint by numbers. It's exactly, the trailers really didn't show too much, but it's very predictable. I knew exactly how this movie was going to go from the minute I saw it, and it has some really fun moments and stuff, though. There are some really great funny moments in here. The characters, or the new characters, are pretty likable for the most part, especially Phoebe, played by McKenna Grace. She just does a really great job playing the character, and I've seen her in a few other movies too. She's one of those child actresses, if she can make it past that child actor curse thing, I think she could become a really great actress later on down the line too. But she's a really good child actress. She's really good in this movie. And Finn Wolfhard is great in here too as her brother Trevor. He's not in the movie near as much as I thought he was going to be, although he is in it a lot, though. The movie seems to focus more on Phoebe and her friend, but he's good in here too, and I really liked him. And the other two new kids who are the other Ghostbusters, Lucky and Podcast, they're both really likable and funny. Podcast is pretty hilarious at times, but I really like Lucky too. I thought she was really likable. And the actress that played her, I think, was in the movie Freaky is where I recognized her from. She's really good in this movie too. But there's this forced little romance between her and Trevor that personally, it just wasn't very extremely greatly written, but I felt like the romance was a little forced. And then you got this teacher, Mr. Gruberson, played by Paul Rudd, and he's great in here. He's really funny and everything, and likable. He has that Paul Rudd charm that you expect from him, and he does a really good job in this movie too. So I think all of the new cast are really great in here, and we do get to see some familiar faces in this movie, but without going into too much details about it, you don't really see them till towards the end of the movie. So if you're going in here expecting them to have a huge role in this movie, you're probably going to be disappointed, because they are not in the movie very much, and that's all I'm going to say about it. I don't want to ruin it, but they did some things in here that were really cool though, and it has some really emotional moments, especially towards the end of it. And the movie feels like it's just a full-fledged homage to Harold Ramis, who passed away before this movie could happen, and everything. I like that about it too. I thought that was awesome, and Jason Reitman did a really good job directing it. He's the son of Ivan Reitman, and he did a really great job honoring his dad's legacy with this movie and stuff. I don't think it's near as good as the first two movies, but it's still a really decent movie. But I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say that I wasn't a little bit disappointed with it. Like I've been hearing all this stuff about fan service stuff and everything, and it really didn't have near as much fan service as people really say it does, but I do actually somewhat understand the criticism. Like the fan service kind of felt forced because they just bring in stuff at the end of the movie to kind of make it feel forced, but at the same time, I'm still glad they did. It was a long time coming to get to see these characters again. But it's a pretty good movie. It's not one of my most favorites of the year, like I was hoping it would be. Probably won't even make my top 10, but it was good enough. I've been hearing a lot of mixed things about it. I know some people have been loving it, and some people have been hating it. Now, I think that it was good, and there are 2 credit scenes. One that's like a mid-credit scene and then a post-credit scene and everything. I was just going to let y'all know if y'all wanted to check those out, but like I said, I'm not going to tell you what happens in them. But yeah, this is a good enough movie. As far as long-awaited sequels go, this one was pretty good. It could have been way worse. I've seen way worse ones than this, but do I feel like it was worth waiting my entire life to see this movie? If you want me to be honest now, I can't really lie and say that I wasn't at least somewhat disappointed in this movie. It could have been a little bit better. Could have been a lot worse though. Like I said, it's one of those, it's kind of a mixed bag, and once I rewatch it and stuff, I'll probably like it even more, but I knew exactly where they were going with this movie. It was down pretty much exactly the way I thought it would be, and everything. There wasn't really anything at all that I didn't expect. It was very predictable, and that's both a positive and negative, because I am happy that it didn't fully disappoint on a lot of things, but I'm also kind of like, I wish they would have taken a little bit more risks with it. But I think that they did a good job. The visual effects in here are, for the most part, pretty good, although there is some CGI that looks a little bit bad. Not extremely bad, but a little bit during the third act. But compared to like the crappy remake from 2016, the visuals are a lot better. And I don't know if I missed him or not, but I think that Slimer's not even in this one, which was also kind of a little bit of a disappointment to me, because I love Slimer and everything, but I'm betting they kept him out of it to keep people from being confused about the crappy remake, because they did keep him in that one. But yeah, so I'd say I'd give Ghostbusters Afterlife a 7.5 out of 10. It's a fun movie and a decent sequel, but it's not what I really wanted out of Ghostbusters 3, if you want me to be honest. But I think it's fine. The new characters are likable enough, and it's hard to say if they'll ever continue this franchise or not. They left it off where they could, but they don't have to either, so that's kind of cool too, that it didn't leave with like a big ending where you're expecting more. It makes you wanting more, but not like, it's not where you absolutely have to have it. But yeah, so anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of Ghostbusters Afterlife, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.
Yeah!